Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting and surprising stories in the world of coins and collectibles. Imagine having a coin in your pocket that looks ordinary at first glance, something you may have even seen thousands of times before, only to find out it is worth a fortune. That is exactly the case with the 1990p Washington quarter, a coin that has taken the numismatic community by storm because of its rarity, historical background, and most importantly, its massive current market value, which in some cases has been reported to reach as high as $229,000. Yes, you heard that right, a simple $quarter coin minted in 1990 at the Philadelphia Mint could be worth nearly $250,000 today. Now, before we get into the story of how and why this coin became so valuable, let's set the stage with a little background. The Washington quarter has been one of the most iconic coins in United States history. First introduced in 1932, it was designed to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the years, the quarter has gone through different design changes, metal compositions, and minting variations, but it has always remained a mainstay of American coinage. By the time we reached 1990, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for nearly 6 decades and was one of the most recognizable pieces of change in American wallets, cash registers, and vending machines. The average person wouldn't think twice about it. But collectors know that within certain years, within certain minting runs, mistakes and variations can occur that turn an ordinary coin into a treasure. The 1990p quarter is one of those treasures. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin is famous not for its basic design but for the small and rare differences that can appear, making certain examples highly desirable to collectors. While millions of these quarters were produced, the scarcity and uniqueness of a specific version skyrocketed its demand and value. Some examples in pristine uncirculated condition, free from the wear and tear of everyday use, have stunned the market with jaw-dropping auction prices. When a coin that most people see as spare change suddenly crosses into six-figure territory, the numismatic world pays attention. Collectors always talk about 3 major factors when determining a coin's value. These are rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity refers to how many were produced and how many still exist today. Condition refers to whether the coin is worn, scratched, or kept in nearly perfect mint state. And demand is all about how badly collectors want to own that particular piece. The 1990p quarter checks all of those boxes in a very special way. Certain rare variations and errors from that year make it an absolute must-have for serious collectors. Combine that with the fact that most people never bothered to preserve quarters from the 1990s in mint condition, and you begin to understand why a flawless 1990p quarter could command such extraordinary prices. Think about it for a moment. The year 1990 doesn't feel that long ago for many of us. People were listening to cassette tapes, renting VHS movies, and dialing on landline telephones. The internet was still a new and mysterious idea. And yet in the pockets of millions of Americans, this little silver-colored quarter was circulating unnoticed. Families used it to buy candy, soda, or to feed parking meters. Nobody could have guessed that a simple 25-cent coin would one day be worth enough money to buy a brand new luxury car, a house down payment, or even fund a college education. When we talk about the 1990p quarter being worth up to $229,000, it's important to note that not every coin from that year carries this staggering value. The vast majority of them are still just worth face value, 25 cents. But the rare examples, often tied to minting errors, special die strikes, or incredibly well-preserved condition, are the ones that make headlines. It is the thrill of discovering one of these rare gems that excites coin hunters, treasure seekers, and collectors alike. Imagine searching through a box of old coins left in a drawer by your grandparents and finding one of these shining treasures. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every piece of change holds a mystery, and sometimes that mystery is worth more than you could ever imagine. The history of the Philadelphia Mint itself also adds weight to the story. Since its founding in 1792, the Philadelphia Mint has produced billions of coins for circulation. It has been the birthplace of many famous rarities in United States history. The 1990p quarter is just one example of how a small detail in minting can create lasting significance. Whether it's a missing mint mark, a double die, or an unusual strike, these subtle differences are like hidden signatures that make certain coins stand apart. Collectors hunt for them the way art lovers hunt for rare masterpieces. So why is the 1990p quarter fetching such high values in today's market? A large part of it comes down to collector psychology. As more people become aware of these high-price sales, the demand rises. News stories and online videos spread the word, sparking interest among both serious collectors and casual hobbyists. The idea that something so small, so ordinary, could be worth life-changing money fuels curiosity. Auctions then become competitive, pushing prices higher and higher. This cycle of awareness and demand is what keeps the spotlight shining on coins like the 1990p quarter. Now let's talk numbers because everyone wants to know the specifics. While most circulated 1990p quarters are only worth their face value, examples in uncirculated mint state condition can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s depending on the grade. Coins graded by professional services at the highest levels, such as mint state 67 or 68, can jump dramatically in value. And in some rare cases, specimens of exceptional quality have reached astonishing amounts, including that record-breaking $229,000 figure that shocked the collecting community. That is not just pocket change, that is serious money. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Never underestimate the value of coins you encounter every day. A simple $quarter from 1990 could change your financial situation if it happens to be the right one. Collectors and dealers alike are always on the lookout for these special pieces. If you have old coin jars, shoeboxes, or inherited collections lying around, now might be the time to take a second look. Who knows what treasures are waiting to be discovered. As we continue this video, we'll dive even deeper into the details of the 1990p quarter. We'll explore what to look for, how to spot errors, and how to evaluate condition. We'll also cover tips on getting your coins professionally graded and why that matters so much for serious value. But for now, let's just take a moment to appreciate how amazing it is that a 25-cent coin can rise to the level of a six-figure collectible. That is the beauty of numismatics, the study and collecting of coins. It combines history, art, economics, and the thrill of treasure hunting all in one hobby. So get comfortable, stay tuned, and let's unlock the fascinating story of the 1990p quarter dollar. This is more than just a piece of metal. It is a symbol of hidden value, a connection to history, and a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary objects in our lives can hold the greatest surprises. Today's video is going to be one of the most exciting deep dives we have ever done on United States coinage. If you have ever wondered whether the spare change sitting in your pocket, in a jar at home, or tucked away in an old dresser could actually be worth a small fortune, then you are definitely in the right place. Because today we are going to talk about one of the most surprising and fascinating finds in modern coin history. That is the 1993p quarter dollar coin from the United States Mint. Now before you say to yourself, well, that just looks like any ordinary quarter, let me stop you right there. This is no ordinary coin, and by the end of this video you will understand exactly why collectors are buzzing about it, how rare varieties and minting errors can transform what looks like an everyday piece of pocket change into something that could literally pay off your bills, buy a car, or even become a serious financial investment. And in today's case, we are talking about a single coin that has been valued in the market at an astonishing $127,000. Yes, you heard me right, $127,000 for a quarter. A coin with a face value of just 25 cents is now commanding life-changing money when the right conditions and rarity align. So get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee or whatever you like, because we are about to journey back into the early 90s, the history of the Philadelphia Mint, and the world of coin grading and rarity that makes this 1993p quarter dollar one of the hottest topics in the numismatic world today. First, let us set the scene. The year was 1993. Bill Clinton had just begun his first term as president, the world was transitioning into the internet age, and everyday people were still relying on cash and coins far more than we do today. In that same year, the United States Mint at Philadelphia struck millions of Washington quarters as part of the regular issue. These coins featured the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed originally by John Flanagan, and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, which had been in use for decades prior to the start of the State Quarters program in 1999. On the surface, the 1993 quarter dollar looked like any other coin in circulation. Billions of quarters were being minted in that decade, and most people did not give them a second thought. You would use them for parking meters, vending machines, or just toss them into change jars. But here is where things get interesting. Out of the millions produced, certain examples from the Philadelphia Mint have proven to be extraordinary because of their striking quality, their scarcity in pristine condition, and in some cases, dramatic mint errors or varieties that were not discovered until years later. Now the letter P on the coin stands for Philadelphia, the mint where it was struck. Philadelphia has one of the richest traditions in American coin history, being the very first official mint established in the country. By 1993, it was already producing massive volumes of coins every year, but not every coin left the mint looking the same. A tiny percentage of coins were struck under unusual conditions, sometimes with double dies, sometimes with off-center strikes, and sometimes with incredibly sharp details and clean surfaces that very few others retained. These are the coins that collectors chase because they are not just common currency anymore, they are historical artifacts with rarity and desirability, and this is why the 1993 quarter has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. While the average quarter from that year is still only worth 25 cents, the top-graded examples certified by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC have reached jaw-dropping values at auction. When you hear that one particular coin has sold for up to $127,000, you immediately understand why people are now checking their pocket change and coin collections more carefully than ever. Now let us talk about what gives a coin like this its incredible value. The first factor is condition. In the coin collecting world, condition is everything. A coin graded at mint state 60 is considered uncirculated but may still have marks or dull surfaces. But a coin graded at mint state 67, mint state 68, or in some rare cases even mint state 69 is nearly flawless, with brilliant luster, sharp strike, and virtually no imperfections visible to the naked eye. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes, and the price jumps dramatically. For the 1993 quarter, finding one in top grades is extremely difficult because most of these coins entered circulation immediately and were handled heavily. That makes the survival of pristine examples all the more extraordinary. The second factor is rarity in the population reports. Grading companies keep track of how many coins of each type have been certified at different grades. If only a handful of 1993 quarters exist at mint state 67 or higher, then collectors will bid fiercely to own one. This competition drives the price into the tens of thousands and beyond. The third factor is historical and collector demand. Quarters have always been one of the most popular series for collectors in the United States. Everyone knows them, everyone has handled them, and the Washington Quarter series has a special place in American culture. When a common coin suddenly proves to be ultra-rare in certain conditions, it sparks a frenzy. The story alone is enough to make headlines and attract interest from people outside of the regular coin community, and finally, we cannot ignore the role of errors and varieties. A double die obverse, a misaligned die, a clipped planchet, or any other mint error can elevate a coin's value from a few dollars into thousands. For the 1993 quarter, certain unusual strikes have been documented, and when these combine with top condition, the coin crosses into the category of a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. So what does this mean for you, the viewer? It means that the next time you come across a 1993 quarter dollar, do not dismiss it as ordinary change. Check the date carefully, look for the P mint mark above the date, and examine the coin's condition. If it looks sharp, if it shines brighter than most, if it appears to have unusual doubling or striking characteristics, then you may be holding something extremely special, and that brings us back to the astonishing figure of $127,000. Imagine walking into an auction with just one coin in your hand and walking out with enough money to buy a luxury car or even put a down payment on a house. That is the magic of numismatics. It transforms everyday objects into treasures, and it keeps the thrill of discovery alive for collectors all around the world. In this video we are going to break down the full history of the 1993 P quarter, the story of its minting, what to look for in terms of condition and errors, and how the coin market continues to assign such massive value to a coin that started life as just another piece of change. We will also talk about the importance of coin grading, how you can submit coins for certification, and why population rarity plays such a powerful role in determining price. By the end of this video you will know exactly why a 1993 P quarter dollar can be worth more than a brand new car, how you can search for one yourself, and what the future might hold for coins like this in the ever-changing market of collectible currency. So stick with me because what you are about to learn could truly change the way you look at the coins in your pocket. This is not just history, this is potential wealth hiding in plain sight. And with a value soaring as high as $127,000, the 1993 P quarter dollar proves once again that treasure is closer than we think.